hype and gave it too high a score. But it's because we were still like buzzing for the cinema and that. But then looking back, we were a bit too generous.
Remember, we came out of. Did we come out of Batman and saying it was like the best film we'd ever seen in our lives?
No,
I did so highly, but I don't think I think the Spider-Man hype was obviously the fan service and hype for multiverse, and so it just kind of ticked all the boxes at the time.
That was a contender to be our number one movie. I was campaigning to get it bumps up.
You were at it though. I feel like you destroyed our what's the word? Our integrity. Yeah, you destroyed the integrity with that one because really we should have bumped it down and you just bumped it back up to be a dick.
What Spider-Man is it you're talking about?
Most recent one.
Oh, with Peter, Tobey Maguire and all that, right?
Yeah. But we went to see it in cinema. It was good. There was like all these pops and that, like big moments. But really, that's all it was. It was a spot fest.
Sorry you don't speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun! You fucking moron!
Stuff like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
Ah!
You moron. Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons.
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!
Like the old gens coming back at the Rumble.
Oh, it's Diesel. But
that's the best. Right. That's the best part of the Rumbles. The Rumble's something that we never actually addressed or spoke about in our mid to doing Morons Reviewing Everything. We started it off strongly with one episode in wrestling, and then that's been it.
We've got a lot of things to do, man. So we're going to do Daredevil, aren't we? And then we've still got the next season of Black Mirror to do next when these are available. And I would quite like to do The Last of Us. We could do
The Last of Us.
Yeah, I'd quite like to do it week by week, each episode.
Do you know what? It must be like a way that our brains are connected, because I downloaded that back to my PlayStation yesterday.
Nice.
I was like, fed up with FIFA and anytime, so I was like, I'm just going to download a game and put The Last of Us 1, download that again as well. Because I can't just put The Last of Us 2, I'm going to have to do the first one.
Aye, because I was going to say, but the second one will be what the new season of the show's on. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight, is it?
No, well, welcome into another episode of Morons Reviewing Everything, where we are sticking to our guns and changing up what we're reviewing. It is not just movies. So this week we are brought to you Captain America, the new movie that we at the cinema. So we're back to Morons Reviewing movies.
We'll do it one every now and then.
I don't know.
A Brave New World.
Aye.
There we go. Well, we actually took some cinema trips to do this, but we decided to spice it up as we had two separate dates for the cinema. So Dave and Hunter had a little during the day date, and then me and Daniel went at night.
How was it during the day? Was it dead? Or full of kids?
I thought it was going to be honest, to be honest.
Well, I think with the schools now off this week, so they kind of maybe made it a wee bit busier.
Yeah, that's a shout. Yeah.
You were more of an empty cinema, so you could just wank up the back. But
this is it. It's just a more enjoyable experience. There was a few kids down the front that at the start they were being like a wee bit rowdy before the film actually started, and I thought, oh, they're going to be a nuisance here, but they were actually all right.
Well, we had a similar thing, but it wasn't the kids. We had a group of the Undateables down the front on like a day out. A couple of them didn't hold their water very well, and they started blotting stuff out a few times during the film, which was funny.
A couple of them. You'll need to cut that back, Kyle.
No, that's just said Undateables. It was just like a weird mixture of folk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mongoloids, basically.
You need to cut that bit.
So, Captain America, A Brave New World. Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, finds himself in the middle of an international incident and must discover the motive behind a global plan. Who wants to go first with their thoughts on the new Captain America?
I want Dave's.
So, probably a slight bit of background that I knew absolutely nothing about this film at all. I was just off on the Tuesday. I had a free cinema ticket to use through Monzo. looked at it, seen, oh, Captain America: Brave New World, we'll go and see that. That seemed the best pick of the bunch. So I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know it was out, to be honest, till I actually went on and seen that. So I quite like going into movies like that. And I'm not a big Marvel fanboy. Yeah, I like the films, but I'm not like obsessed with it, because I'd seen a few reviews between me booking it and actually going into the film. No reviews, but just saying, oh, it's terrible. It's mind us put in the chat woke. Folk were calling it woke and all this shite, which is just a lot of shite. So I going in blind. In fact, actually, Hunter, when me and him first met at the cinema, I was going to ask him a couple of things about it, and I was under the impression that it might have been a multiverse thing, because I completely forgot that Sam Wilson got given the shield. I was like, why is he Captain America? But it's because Steve Rogers actually gave him the shield in one of the films, wasn't it?
Well, there's been a whole TV show about that as well.
Yeah, Hunter was saying that.
The fact that we couldn't remember he was also referred to as Falcon and Flying Guy.
Flying Guy.
I got to go to Google and find that. Flying Guy. So that was all quite good. And then as we get into the film, again, I now know that Isaiah Bradley was in that TV show that you're referencing, Daniel. I didn't know that at all, but I quite liked his character. I fairly enjoyed it, to be honest. I thought it was good. The couple of wee snippets that I seen of folks saying, oh, it's letting Captain America doing that. Nah, I just didn't see that at all. So I took it for what it was, and I think it's really difficult in this day and age now with social media and everything. But see, if you manage to do that, I think it can give you a more balanced view of a film. So I was quite glad that I went into the film like that. So obviously we'll go into scores and everything, but I liked it. I think I kind of.
So first, what I wanted to ask you then was, for someone who hasn't delved too much into the background, this film kind of expected you to remember the Incredible Hulk movie for 20 years ago, and to have watched that. So did you feel a wee bit lost at times when they assumed you're meant to know who everyone is?
I suppose, because since then I've done a bit of research on it, so I had no idea that Liv Tyler and the bad guy with the brain, can't mind his name now, was in that Incredible Hulk film.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any of that. So to me, it wasn't so much that I was lost, but I suppose effectively I just took it as a standalone film.
Yeah.
That through my eyes, that's how I basically watched that film. It was just a standalone film. That's probably one bit where it would have been good to know that, because like I quite like things like that. Seeing, oh, there's Liv Tyler, like she was in the Incredible Hulk 20 years. Can just read that things like that, even though it doesn't mean much. So that would probably go against no knowing anything. But I effectively just watched that as a standalone film,
which is fair enough. If they've done a good enough job so that you were able to still enjoy it without having known that. Samuel Stearns is his name. I just had to look that up. Dr. Samuel Stearns.
Yeah.
So then, fair enough, they've done that job. Like, even though I knew everything and we'd watched everything, we were like Kyle was saying about watching them all the way through and like how many times I've seen them and all that. Even then, like I kind of felt a wee bit like you're expecting quite a lot of people here to be fully caught up sometimes, because like even Harrison Ford being General Thunderbolt Ross, I don't think it really does enough to really tell you anything about who he is unless you are fully up to date, which I quite like, because see these Marvel movies now, because we're saying they don't do as well at the box office as they did at their peak, right? But I think they're starting to become back more to what they were supposed to be, which are just good action movies about comics for geeks. And it's, if you're dedicated enough to stay with it, we're going to give you all these little things that reward you for doing that. And I think it maybe got a bit too big, and like casuals that are nearly comic book or superhero fans are falling away now. You know what I mean?
I think a big part of that though, Daniel, is that after you've had Endgame, it then branched into all these 6-episode series on Disney Plus. Which, like, I watched a couple episodes of the Falcon and Winter Soldier one before we went to see it, which reminded me about the Captain America Super Soldier Isaiah that they had in the background, which I totally forgot about. but there's so many of them that it becomes really difficult to actually manage and watch. Like, I've watched it from start to finish. I've watched it in chronicle order right the way through. I've watched all the multiverse ones as of late, and they've got shit as it goes past Endgame. A couple of the series like WandaVision, I really enjoyed. The Hawkeye one's quite good. Loki's good, but then again, like it all kind of hit at once, and it became a lot of stuff to watch to keep in track with the movies. So yes, there's nods to it that you won't get, but like you've already mentioned, it does enough to keep you engaged throughout the whole movie. And we talked about it after we went to see it, Daniel, about the reveal of Red Hulk. You have some quite strong opinions about how they've dealt with that. Because I want to put my cards out there first and say, I enjoyed the movie, and always when you go to the cinema, it's a little bit better than what it actually is. So there will be a different thought process in the future. But see, like the action scenes, the fight scenes, like the brain rot stuff, I thought it was all excellent. It was really, really good. But it was after it where we were talking about it, where it was like, this could have been a little bit better. This would have been more exciting. This could have made more sense. But I'll come back to you, Daniel, just on your Hulk thoughts.
So this is a bit of a gripe. So there's two things about it that bothers me. And one of them I hadn't thought to say to you after the cinema last time, right? See, if Red Hulk wasn't in the trailer, I wouldn't have been as bothered by how it ended up being used, right? But in the trailer, you saw him becoming the Red Hulk, so you're like, this is going to be a massive part of this film. And in the comics, the reveal of the Red Hulk being Thunderbolt Ross was quite a big deal. It was like a full big story arc, and nobody knew who it was, and there was like a mystery behind it. But to have done all that and got to the last 10 minutes of the film, he becomes the Red Hulk, gets beat by a guy who's just a guy with wings, and then he's in prison. Like it, and I feel like they've done this with the main Hulk as well, that they're kind of disrespectful. Do you mean the Hulk should absolutely smash the fuck out of Sam Wilson? Like that shouldn't even be the slightest bit of a contest. And I don't know. What I said to Kyle when we came out of the cinema was, right, see when they're on the boat when the war was going to happen and it was about to kick off, right? And then Harrison Ford nearly turned into the Hulk. He started to transform. You should have had it happen there for me. And you've got all this opportunity for them to like smash out the boat and like maybe fucking kill some planes out of the sky so he can jump fucking all that time. And then he maybe causes all this destruction. And then you've got something to follow up on for the main end fight. But I just felt like it came too late. And then like it was a bit like a disappointing firework at the end. Do you mean like it just sort of went, that was it. So I was a bit let down. What did you think? I think for all Hunter. On you go, sorry.
I know Hunter's going to come in for his proper piece, but just on that bit, like I hadn't seen the trailer, but again I kind of knew because Hunter ruined it for me, so I knew that Red Hulk was going to be in it. But I didn't know what that meant or anything like that. I didn't know comic books. But imagine like nobody knew anything about the Red Hulk, and then that bit in the boat that you're saying, and you see his leg kind of twitching and his eyes going, folk would be like, oh my God, like what a difference that would have made just by keeping that a surprise.
Keep it a secret.
But yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said there.
Well, see, even on that, David, there was a trailer for Smith's Toy Stores with the action figures from the movie advertising Red Hulk. So if you had no spoilers going in, that would have been ruined for you. Going,
that's right. That's right.
That's annoying, actually.
I know. But just kind of obviously what kind of touched on already. So I kind of similar to Kyle, I'd went full intention of going all in after Endgame, and then there was that kind of sort of first phase of the TV series, a couple of films that I kind of like, and then it was kind of round about when there was the Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, kind of that sort of area of the phase. I just kind of lost interest a wee bit. I just felt like it was too much, and it was trying to shoehorn as much as they could in. Obviously, could like even then they might have still been undecided on what tangent the next phase was going to go into. Because obviously the whole Kang thing that's been wiped from happening, so I think they knew at that point. And then that's how I kind of maybe lost a wee bit of interest. But for me, I felt this was the good start point from where it was what it's building up to. This was a good, had enough of a bit of background. This would be a good reset. Just kind of forget the stuff. Do a wee bit of YouTube search on what you might need to know going into things. You don't need to have watched everything at least back with the first sort of couple of phases, everything was, it was a cinema release. You had like months or even a couple of years between films, so you had time to build up that sort of experience and get the story from start to finish. But as I said, with that bit, I just kind of lost interest. So I did enjoy the film, as in it was a good sort of, here's where we're going next, or at least lay the crumbs of the foundations to where it might go next.
Aye. I think it felt like a reset type of movie to me.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't one of the way I see it is that there's the big peaks with the big time movies, right, where everyone collaborates and all that, right, the big Avengers films, and then you've always had these wee ones in between, like Ant-Man back in the day, or like, do you know what I mean, even the early Thor films were kind of shitty. They weren't big. I mean, The Dark World is one of the worst probably is the worst Marvel movie.
We mentioned Black Widow. What was even the point of the Widow movie?
I know.
So you've always had these ones that are kind of B tier, I suppose, films that are not maybe expected to get up to that height. And I thought this was a good version of one of those, is what I would say. It did what it was supposed to do in terms of making things feel a bit more grounded, because yous have all mentioned a bit fatigue with it, with the multiverse, and in theory that should have went really well. I think they fucked it up early on with the Doctor Strange film, and they basically took Wanda and then fucked her powers as well and made her too weak. And they went all the way through all those different universes, and it never really went anywhere. And we'll maybe talk about it a wee while when the bit of the post-credit scene, what that's teasing would be more impactful if the multiverse thing had worked better. And they've kind of, it's gone now. Do you mean after you get to Secret Wars, they're going to collapse the multiverse and it'll be back to one universe. So that'll be all behind us. I just think it's been a really big missed opportunity. Or do you want me to expand on that, David?
Yes, please.
So what they're hinting at, what the bit at the end was saying, right? What they're hinting at, I believe anyway, it's not confirmed, but what's going to happen is the next film, well, the end film of this series is going to be Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars, right? And before that, you've got Doom. Is it Doomsday they're calling the Doctor Doom one?
Yeah.
Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is between the Fantastic Four film, the end of that will tease this thing called the Incursions, right? And that's what that guy was talking about at the end. And what it means is all the multiverse is going to collapse into itself. So what happens in the comics is that one day on Earth...
Is that the thing they teased in, was it Spider-Man or the Doctor Strange thing as well, where the worlds but literally fold in on each other?
They're all going to fold in on each other. So what'll happen is, like, one morning you'd wake up and there's another planet Earth suddenly in the sky, and they're going to get closer and closer and smash into each other. And if they smash into each other, both of them are destroyed, but one Earth might decide to destroy the other Earth to make themselves safe. And it's about this moral dilemma between all these alternate universes with different types of the same heroes on them, deciding what they'll do. And then it'll all eventually collapse into one, and it's called one planet called Battle World. But there's like 100 Thors, and there's like 100. Do you mean there's loads of different versions of everyone on this one planet before it all goes back to normal, essentially? So that's what's going to happen. And it'll be fucking awesome.
Do you think it will be? Because do you know, like, sometimes, like, if you're following the comic books too closely, like, sometimes things don't translate from comics to movies.
Yeah, they definitely haven't followed it too closely, because the way it happened in the comics is much more complex. This is quite a streamlined version of it, essentially. I think that's what'll happen. Doctor Doom will come in from another universe and warn us that the Incursions are coming, essentially, and then it'll go to, because they've already confirmed Secret Wars, so that is what's going to happen. They're going to get towards that one big battle planet, essentially, with Doctor Doom being God, which I kind of think wait for.
Secret Wars, though, so I started listening to an audiobook again today, but only the first kind of 25 minutes of it. But it obviously pulls them all into this, what they kind of described as like a ship or a spaceship. And it's like X-Men are there, Magneto's there. It's like everybody, they can't work out why they're all there together. Yeah. So when they pull in, other movies are going to have to come out between now and May 2027 to tell that storyline. Because who are we thinking are going to be the Avengers going into Doomsday?
I mean, it's going to be this shitty Captain America, isn't it? And you're going to have the new flying guy.
Yeah.
Flying guy too. Who should absolutely be dead.
Yeah.
Well, That's what it is. That was one of the times I actually disconnected from it a wee bit, by the way, just to go slightly off. But that scene when he gets injured, the whole thing of that, where, because remember, Sam Wilson's just a guy.
Yeah, he's no
Yeah, I know.
super serum or whatever.
And he's suffering on the top of a fucking missile. Like, come on, like, give us a wee bit of, like, I know it's a fucking superhero movie. I'm not expecting it to be realistic, but like, make it a bit more.
But he's got that Wakanda suit, as you know. Is that not a bit like Iron Man type?
So he's got the Wakandan wings, aye, but I mean, it doesn't stretch that far for me. Like, they just seem to be able to just cover them up and protect them like a big shield. They can cut shit in half.
Yeah.
But aye, it was fun. I've got more gripes though, right? See the end fight between him and the Red Hulk that was over pretty quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
He basically takes him to the cherry blossoms to try like calm him down, because that's where he went on walks with his daughter, sorry. And he tries to calm him down, and it doesn't work. And then they fight a wee bit more, and then he tries to calm him down again, and then it does work.
Aye, I know. I
And
picked
that's
up on that too. Aye.
So like, and then when they brought Liv Tyler back at the end, this was only after I got home I started thinking about this. Why did they not have her turn up at the
Yeah.
seas? That's what made them.
I thought that's what was going to happen. To be honest,
Aye.
like
It seems so obvious now, but that big anticlimax for me. That's one of the big gripes. It's going to take a lot of points off this for me.
yeah,
Good old Liv Tyler coming into it. Need to go
She
back
was-
into Armageddon.
She was wooden as fuck, wasn't she? And
Armageddon, never mind this.
in anything she's ever been in, she's not a very good actor. But John J. Mick mentioned in his about some of the scenes were quite obvious that they'd been filmed where the two actors were nowhere they weren't in the same place.
There was one with Sam Wilson where you could even tell like the special effects, it was just like some form of green screen behind him. I mean, come on, the films that were made 40 years ago had better graphics than that.
A few of those bits were too obvious, especially like the bits where somebody was in the prison cell talking. So Harrison Ford, when he was talking to everyone else, you could tell he just filmed his scenes, and then months later they'd filmed the other scenes to fill in the gaps, and that was a bit.
This did have a lot of reshoots, and like after it was all done, they went back and like changed loads and took people out, because obviously Seth Rollins was supposed to be in it as a character, and he got cut, and then they had to reshoot stuff to take him out of it.
So I saw an interview with him about that, and basically the part that Sidewinder played, your man for Breaking Bad, that was basically the Seth Rollins part, and they cut him out and replaced him essentially.
aye, because they were saying like that was one of the biggest reshoot you could tell was that Sidewinders. Like it was just as if he was just there for no real.
He didn't really add to it,
reason.
though, did he?
No, it was a waste of time. There was too many little micro villains, because the Red Hulk was a villain, your Doctor guy was a villain, Sidewinder's a villain. Like, come on, just let us focus on somebody. And then, because this is maybe going a bit wider, right? But what Marvel have always failed in, and the DC films are shite, but they do this slightly better, is Marvel have always got really weak villains. And they almost had it right with Thanos, and then by the time you got to Endgame, it just became, they just went and chopped his head off. It was too easy. So even they made him fucking weak at the end. But Thanos is maybe the only one over the whole MCU since it started that's maybe been a bit of a threat. Every other villain essentially comes across like a bit of a pussy. And Red Hulk came across like that in this one. Do you mean hulked up once, got beat by Sam Wilson, went to prison, looking woohoo. The other guy turned himself in. He didn't even, like the other guys. Sorry, I'm just going to that here, right? His like power was his like super brain that looked like a big scrotum, right? It looked like a big ball sack, his head. And he could like predict probability of what the likelihood of every outcome was, right? Which was quite interesting. But he was never right. Nothing, not one thing that he said was going to happen ever happened. Like somebody intervened and it stopped from happening. So like, if your superpower is that you can predict what's going to happen, you need to show on the screen for me as a viewer sometimes that actually happening. But it never ever did. Like everything always got foiled really easily, like a fucking cartoon.
When Sam Wilson turned up, he was like, "Oh, I can't believe you're here. I gave you an 89% chance that you wouldn't be here, but here you are."
What a superpower I've got with this big brain.
Do you know what scene really, really bugged me is they built up about this guy going to learn what was in that drug, and then he's doing his he's training, which would be in a really top secure facility. And he gets a phone call and he takes about 4 steps out of the training bit and just gets killed by that guy who's there at that exact
That was a nonsense, eh?
fucking
Nonsense.
hell, like that
If
was
he had
absolutely.
Talking to this film's going right down to my station.
I mean,
I forgot about
it was
that,
just
but-
like that was such a pointless part to kill that guy. He could have had that guy killed as part of something bigger, where like it was just the fact that he walked out, took about 4 steps to make his phone call, where he's just done a big secure training and he's been killed and nobody's noticed, nobody's there, nobody's around.
Like, you didn't have to have him killed for me, right? You could have just had him send a message to Sam Wilson just slightly too late. So, like, see the bit when the Red Hulk's just about to appear, you could have Sam find out, oh, by the way, those drugs are what's turning them into the Hulk or whatever. And then that guy doesn't even have to die, because he was just a nothing character anyway, so it didn't matter when he died. And if that guy with the boss kid could just kill you by pushing this wee button of this gadget that he's got, why is he not just doing that to everyone else? Like, he had a wee special device that killed that guy and made his heart explode or whatever. But then when Sam Wilson and his pal come in, he just lets him fucking get into a wee bit of a fight with all the guards and that. Like, just play with your wee, push the button on your thing and kill everybody. Like, inconsistent.
I didn't go touch on that, did they?
No, he didn't even tell. Like, he never had that weapon at any other point before or after. Just for that one wee scene. Oh, push this button, you're dead. It's a good weapon to have. Annoying.
The next movie on
I started talking about it.
The next movie that's coming in the Marvel phases, Daniel, you put the link to the trailer for it, which I haven't watched, and I know nothing about it. I've loaded up Thunderbolts on Wikipedia here, but I wanted to get your thoughts on what comes next, because I had no idea what Thunderbolts is.
So I think they're making a conscious choice here to make things less over the top. So like, this movie was no as over the top as what's been going with like Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania and all this bullshit, right? So I think the Thunderbolts is the same. It's going to be like an alternative superhero team. So not the Avengers, because they don't have superpowers really. So you're going to have like the guy that was the bad Captain America, who's kind of, is he like, but he's taking the super soldier serum, so he's quite enhanced. But apart from that, they're all just like normal people, and it's a bit like Suicide Squad, where they've all got a bit of a bad background, if you know what I mean. Like Bucky Barnes obviously was a mass murderer, but we all love him. Do you know what I mean? A world best loved mass murderer, Bucky Barnes. The bad Captain America, and you've got the guy Red. What's his name? Red something.
Red Guardian.
Yeah, the Russian guy. So he's like Russia's version of like Captain America in the comics. But they've made him a bit more of a comedy character in this one. That's Lily Allen's now ex-husband, I believe.
I think so, yes.
The boy from Stranger Things.
Aye.
Yes. Who was a bit of a fat bastard, but then got into really good shape recently, I think, for this film. Who always reminds me of the guy from My Name is Earl. Do you know the fat brother?
Yes.
Like, they seem like the same guy to me, because he's lost loads of weight as well. What's his Ethan Sembley or something his name is? He's lost like 250 pounds, and he's got all this extra skin. Have you seen him? No, he was a big fat cunt. Well, he's lost like all this weight, and he's like he's all muscly and that, but he's got like...
I've just watched him in American History X the other day.
He was massive in that.
Huge.
Oh, I know who I've thought about. Aye, the big.
Is he no one?
Guy.
The film with Johnny Depp.
That could be many.
Aye, yeah.
He's had quite a lot of things. You can
Google
him now, by the way. Look at him.
I've made that sound like I pulled that out my arse, but I've got his Wikipedia up in front of me here.
Yeah. I'm going to send into the group chat a picture of his skin, so you can carry on talking while I do that.
See, that's just losing weight too fast if your skin goes like that.
Yeah. I just called him Ethan. I just called him Ethan Sembley, but that was a character played by Zach Galifianakis. What's his name, Kyle?
Ethan Suplee.
Ah, okay.
And I agreed with you, Ethan Tremblay, but now you've said that. Aye, he's like a fictional character.
He's a fictional character for something.
He's got like a rippling six pack with like a fucking fold over at the bottom.
Aye, he's got big droopy skin. I mean, no, there's anything wrong with that. But I'll send you a picture in the group chat so you can see, because he's lost like fucking £350 or something mental like that. He might be on those injections, Kyle.
Listen, fucking rock on, mate. Go for it.
Aye, man, you've lost like a stone just off your face.
He's looking like a new man.
Yes.
Weigh in tomorrow, and I am anticipated it'll be 3 stone officially lost tomorrow.
Well done.
You're on the track to lose £52. And what else? What else is 52, Daniel?
What else is 52? Oh, yeah. 52 is what comes after the word beer. If you want to get wonderful beers from Beer 52, and if you want to get them for fuck all for your first case, you can go to beer52.com and you can get something like this delicious Freedom Lager that I'm drinking right now. Wonderful. Cheers.
Awesome.
Don't forget to use code MORONS. That's MORONS for those morons that can't spell. Do we have much more that we want to discuss around Captain America?
No, unless we want to go down to a score of 1 for the 4 of us. We better move on.
Progressively making it worse for you. Hunter, trivia man, did you take the time to look at some trivia?
I have forgot, no.
Hey, listen, coming off the back of Amsterdam, I can imagine that your head is a little bit fried to get back to normal. But I did have a look over the trivia in anticipation. Oh, fucking hell. I had a beer. I'm in the Pepsis. Anticipation of Hunter not doing it. But most of it is talking about cherry blossoms and the actual picture having Red Hulk's hand in it. It's been a homage to comic books. So nothing exciting in there at all. Let's get in and get it scored. It's getting dramatically dropped as we talk on about it. As I'll kick it off, as someone who still likes Marvel movies and will go back and watch this at another point, it scores higher than what it should do. It'll probably end up really close to Back to the Future on our list, but I will give it a 3.
I think that's fair.
Who would you like to go next?
I'll go, just because I think that maybe it sounds like my score is going to be lower than it is, but a bit like Kyle, I'm still a big Marvel fucking stan. Like, I'll still consume everything that they put out, and something that's a relatively not good Marvel movie is still something that I very much enjoy. So, giving it slightly below Kyle at a 2.75, just in the scale of other Marvel movies, but it was fine. Popcorn chewing gum movie. Do you mean shut your brain off? If you can do that, then it's fine.
Anna?
We keep that scale coming down ever so slightly. 2.5 for me.
Dave, are we taking you from the 5 that you've started with right down to L1? What has happened in your scoring since we've been talking for the last half hour?
Well, actually, I started off the call in my mind 3. It has dropped slightly because I did completely forget about that scene that you said, Kyle. And when I was watching it, it annoyed me just how he just waltzed up off camera to this secure base and just killed that officer. That was just daft. So that has knocked it down to 2.75 for me.
Am I meant to be doing the math here?
Yeah, that's your role.
I forget we don't have Burns anymore. What did you say again, Hunter? Sorry, just some
2.5. I think it might actually come at a 2.75, just with some quick maths off the top of my head.
Quick math there. Yeah, I don't have to do the calculator. It's 2.75 at all.
2.75 for Captain America.
Not bad, just above average, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
When you go.
And I think there'll be certainly more movies that are going to be better than this to come through this phase of Marvel. It does seem a good thing that they've stepped away a little bit from that multiverse disaster of things like Ant-Man and shit that we had to deal with. So getting out of that and getting back into movies that you're actually enjoying watching just because it's a movie. Dave summed up movies like this in the chat last night where he just said that to shut your brain off. Popcorn movies like when I watched Air Force One last night. You don't have to pay attention to any plot or any storyline. You just kind of go on with it.
Aye, it was fine. Fine. Absolutely fine. If you're thinking about going to watch it and you're thinking, is it worth the money or should I just wait till it's on Disney Plus in 6 months? It's fine to just wait. I mean, you're not going to miss anything. But still work.
If you want to go see Thunderbolts, maybe watch this first just to fill in a wee gap.
Well, probably, right? Because this will probably tie right into Thunderbolts, right? Because this is the way it's going to work. So, in reality, if you want to know everything, you need to be fucking all over the top of all of it. But speaking about new Marvel shit, are we all excited for Daredevil? And
yes.
So
when we finish this call, I'm right on it.
Good man. Well, if we all want to watch it for the start again, because I'm assuming we're all going to, we should come on and do a review of each season, just like per season. So if we want to set a wee target and get season 1 watched over the next week, we can come on and do Daredevil. And if we can get them right in time for the new one coming out, it'll be good.
So I'd imagine when the
I'm
new
good
one
to
comes
that.
out, it's only going to be one episode a week, like most of the major Disney series.
Yeah, so we can, once we get if we review the old seasons, we can wait for the new one to be finished before we actually complete that one. But I hope they put it all in one.
When's Daredevil due out?
March. Start of March, I think.
Pretty soon.
How days? I did not realise it was that quick.
So I'm interested to see how faithfully it is an adaptation of the carry on of the Netflix series, because it's the only one that's crossed over. And so will there be a bit of hijinks where like Thanos' snap has happened in this universe now, and like folk have gone away and come back? I'm buzzing to find it. It'll be good.
We talked about this as well, the Netflix stuff in the car on the way home. And have you all seen Jessica Jones season 1?
Oh, aye. Classic.
Absolute. I said to Daniel, that's probably one of the best villains that they've had in any of these.
Yeah. He's so sinister, isn't he? And it's like such a creepy superpower to have, like to just be like helpless.
It's how blasé. That's what really took me in with it. Just say, put your hand in a blender. Like, it doesn't say, put your hand in a blender, like making movements. Just put your hand in a blender. Go and put your head against that wall until your head falls off. And they just do it. Brilliant.
So good, man. But we were also discussing how some of them went off the rails, like fucking Iron Fist was garbage. Did you watch Luke Cage?
I quite like Luke Cage. I'd had a wee soft spot for it. I thought it was alright.
Season 1 I thought was pretty good. We were saying the second season with that Jamaican guy, what was his name? The Bushwhacker or something? That was no, not the Bushwhacker.
Having a season 2.
Bushmaster, the Bushmaster.
Diamondback.
Sounds like,
where am I getting Bush?
Sounds like you, Kyle.
The Bushmaster.
Bushmaster sounds like someone who's good at oral sex.
It's no me. Certainly no me.
The cunning linguist.
There's the episode name. There we go.
Aye, there you
So
go.
The Punisher's good as well, obviously.
So Punisher, that class is just another season of Daredevil. So I'll be including that in the rewatch before this one comes out, because I am assuming that he's going to be in the new series.
He is, yes.
Sound.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be disappointed if not.
Because good. What I was thinking was with this series, Daredevil that's coming out, is that going to tie into the new Spider-Man film as well?
Well, they're all going to tie into each other. When is there another Spider-Man movie out?
I think it's
one in this phase of Marvel for phase 6. There's one due July the 24th, 2026, an untitled Spider-Man movie. So the movies coming out, it's got here is Thunderbolt, movies with confirmed dates. Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four for the 21st of July this year. Then it's Avengers Doomsday, then Spider-Man, then Secret Wars. And then there's ones without dates. We don't know if they're coming in or not. You've got Armor Wars, Black Panther 3, Blade, Shang-Chi, and an untitled X-Men film. That are all in this phase.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
It's mental just how far the universe actually reaches. You forget some of the things that are actually under the Marvel umbrella.
There's so much that they've not even touched yet as well. Like, that's what's scary about it. Like, it's got such a wide range. It is Bushmaster. Is the name of the bad guy for season 2.
Well, shit.
I thought I was talking shite.
Diamondback's brother, is it not?
Diamondback must be some other cunt. He's in it too.
That's his brother, I'm sure.
Bushmaster and Diamondback.
Fucking hell.
Sounds like a really bad tag team in TNA.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. Let's wrap it then, guys. Thank you very much for listening. If you have stuck with us throughout this, let us know your thoughts and your scores on Captain America if you have already seen it. I'm sure most of you have watched it on a dodgy box already, so let us know. As Morons bid you farewell.
I feel like doing this after 10 o'clock. I was rambling a load of shite there.
Sorry I don't speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun! You fucking moron!
Stuff like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
Ah!
You moron! Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons!
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!